It's a great pleasure and an honor to introduce on this show Mr. Gary Player, the golf legend who has enormous number of stories that can not only give you reason to believe that there is truly a future for golf, but also a future of humanity. It's such pleasure talking to you, Mr. Player, once again.
Thank you, Shelley. It's my honor to speaking to you. Thank you.
You're now part of Indian golf history in more ways than you've been for world history. What does the India story mean to you from a golf perspective?
Well, first of all, I'm delighted to be part of the Indian history, or the start of it. Golf is really basically, I don't know if the right term is in its infancy, but it certainly is as far as professional golf is concerned and producing champions. But golf is a great catalyst, at raising money. We as a small company have raised over $50 million US dollars for charities around the world, i.e. China, Europe, South Africa and America. And wherever we've raised these monies, they've gone to local charities, and we've changed the lives of thousands of people. And having come from a very poor background, luckily enough to have a very, very good education though, and being involved in this wonderful game, it's given me such a thrill, having struggled as a young person, to understand what it is to suffer and struggle to change people's lives, and to see these mainly in the theme of education.
Right.
And education, as we all know, is the light. It's something that we all strive for. Even at the age in my 80th year, I'm still striving to be able to speak well. I'm still reading. I'm still trying to improve my mind. It's a fascinating life that we lead, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And to come to India, a country that I admire very, very much indeed, some of the most brilliant people in the world, technology-wise, you're probably the leading nation in the world, and a fascinating country with great diversion.
I want to ask you, you mentioned raising funds for charities. How important is sport to the idea of change?
Well, sport is, I think it was Winston Churchill, one of my 5 great heroes, said change is the price of survival. And this is something that the elderly are very reluctant to do. And I've got to keep checking myself and saying, change is the price of survival. So sport is, if you think around the world, if you go around the world and think of the monies that have been raised for charity. In America on the PGA, over $2 billion have been raised for charity, and working on the 3rd billion already, more than any 2 sports put together. So whether it's individual, whether it's the PGA, it's just so exciting to see the influence that sport, and particularly golf, is having on society.
So what do you feel about that influence bringing change in, let's say, Asia? Because you mentioned China earlier, and this need to raise funds so that we can induct more women, more juniors, and create more professionals here. Yeah. Do you see a sense of forthcomingness from people in Asia to pump in money into sport?
Very much so indeed, when they start to realize, for example, you have a golf tournament today and you're a sponsor, it's shown all over the world. Over 1 billion people are watching it. So for sponsorship, it's worthwhile to encourage the youth. The youth of a nation are the trustees of posterity. We've got to encourage the youth. Yesterday, there's a young boy here called Sudham walking around when he's 10 years of age. He's already finished 2nd in the World Junior Championship in the United States. This young boy is brilliant. He's got so much talent. You've got to cultivate him. He could bring great honor. Just imagine if India could have a Tiger Woods, who is the most recognized human being on the planet. Think about that.
Yeah.
And on the way to being the best golfer that ever lived. I don't think he's going to achieve that anymore, but you never know. But this young boy could bring great honor. Look at Tendulkar, what he did. He was one of my cricket heroes. I mean, everybody knew this man. What it does for a country, a leading sportsman or sportswoman or a junior, it's amazing what it can do for a country. You read about these people, you have a desire to visit a country. It has enormous influence, so we must encourage these people.
So, you're talking about Tendulkar, who's a cricket legend. Now, cricketers are just totally taking to golf in India, and it's fascinating. Whether it's MS Dhoni, you know, and whether it's Sachin Tendulkar, we've seen Brian Lara every time he's here, or Dean Jones when they're here, getting down to play a round of golf in between commentary schedules. So it tells you a little bit about what golf means to sport outside of golf.
Well, golf has something that no other sports really have, and that's longevity. I mean, here I am at nearly 80 years of age. My income is greater today than when I was world champion. We didn't play for much money in our time. And we have the longevity. I mean, at the age of almost 80, I can go around and average 70. I can beat my age almost by 9 shots. I will be playing in a tournament with Jack Nicklaus. Three tournaments this year in America, Jack Nicklaus as a partner. Well, what other sport can you do that? Other sports, basically, you're at an average age of 30, you're finished. Golf, you're only reaching your prime when you're 35, 36. And Jack Nicklaus won the Masters at 46. I won it at 42. So golf has got things that other sports do not have. And I can go out and play today, as we do with these businessmen who are contributing to society.
Yeah.
And they are 60 years of age, and they can beat me because they have a handicapping system. You can't do that in tennis. I mean, if I played against Djokovic, you can give me 40 love start, and you can put a weight on his one arm, and I'll never win a point in a year.
Yeah.